All right. Last time my stream crashed, so that is unfortunate. I'm gonna skip to the main part of this video anyway, because I don't really care about because I got through that. But yeah, my stream crashed. That's tragic. But I'm back and I'm streaming again. Yeah, that's where it starts. All right. Well, um, hmm. I'm I don't know how that happened, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna wait again because that ending was unfortunate. All right. I'm just gonna go.
Beating them in one-on-one matches. Number 4 is where we get to some real heavy hitters, with Billy Butcher when powered by Temp V.
Yeah, this is solid. Comparatively to everyone else, we see Billy Butcher kind of get owned by Soldier Boy. Like he can't really do anything. He just kind of gets like offed, like easily. His best feats are definitely injuring Soldier Boy, right, with his laser vision and fighting Homelander. The thing about when he fights Homelander is that he kind of just goes like toe to toe with Homelander for like a good period of time, and then eventually he like pulls back and matches laser vision with Homelander. So we don't know how much longer in like hand to hand combat he could have gone one on one with Homelander. It's like there's not really any way to know. So Soldier Boy did perform better against Billy Butcher than Homelander did, but Homelander didn't have the same amount of time to actually like one on one Billy Butcher. But Billy Butcher just doesn't scale to. He can't really injure Homelander for a lasting period of time. First of all, that's just not something he can do. Second of all, he can't. We see that he does get beat by Homelander eventually throughout their fight. So, and he also just gets beat by Soldier Boy. So he just doesn't. He scales to them, but he's not really at their level. You
I
know.
know I made fun of Translucent earlier for swapping hands with Butcher in episode 1. However, now Butcher is powered by Temp V, effectively making him a soup for the day. During the events of Herogasm, Billy fights Homelander, in which he is hit with and matches Homelander's laser vision. This is a fully combative, and if anything, on edge and angry Homelander, compared to when he'd likely be very timid and cautious using it on Stormfront.
Yeah.
Even if Homelander was using just as much power as he used on Stormfront, Butcher being able to equal these laser eyes with Homelander mean he'd be able to significantly damage.
I mean, it's not. There's no reason why we should be arguing
He's also able to
Stormfront
Soldier Boy and Homelander in hand
is above him because it just doesn't make any sense. Stormfront has never like the problem is Stormfront has never done one-on-one combat with Homelander. Like she can't do that. Like there's no way to argue she can. So I don't even think he has to address why Billy Butcher is stronger than Stormfront. All he has to really say if he's going to address it is that Billy Butcher can go one-on-one with Stormfront and with Homelander. And then that's it. Like you don't even have to say anything else. Stormfront survives a unknown intensity Homelander laser vision, right? All right, you're back, Kenny. We're doing a the boys' strongest characters ranked, and I'm talking about it. I was talking about why Billy Butcher is above Stormfront, but Stormfront, all she ever does, right, is survive Homelander's laser vision, and Homelander, we're not really sure how hard he was going with the laser vision, so it's kind of hard to say that like Stormfront is above Billy Butcher when Billy Butcher legitimately goes one on one with Homelander. Like I'm saying, there's no reason why he has to address that. He can just move on. But
Strongest and almost
maybe I'm
strongest in the series.
starting at the wrong
If you
point.
think for whatever reason Homelander
getting
was going
angry at the
all
wrong
out
thing.
on Stormfront when she tanked it, it's possible she could beat Billy. But I think it's far more likely
What?
that Homelander
See, why are we even doing this? Homelander was not going all out. Let me go back to the scene. Where is this? He has it.
laser eyes on her chest.
Look at this. That's not a man who's going all out. It's a man who's like, whoa, what is happening here? He's not. And look at him when he fights. Where is this? It's not here.
Homelander is initial climax.
No.
3.
Let's go back a little bit.
You think for regular to fight?
Where in the world is this? Yeah.
And matches
Okay, here we go. And here's Homelander when he's fighting Billy Butcher, right?
This is a
That is a completely different man.
fully combative and, if anything, on edge and angry Homelander.
Yeah, this Homelander was bloodlusted during their fight. Homelander versus Anos? Brother, I don't know much about Anos, but I feel like his lowest is like somewhere in the, if you want to massively put him down and like lowball him, he still ends up like versus Battle Wiki lowball him. He still ends up in Uni Plus. Homelander, unless we're talking about comp Homelander it's just not gonna happen. Homelander literally caps at, if you want to take a statement that I'm not even sure if it's literal, Homelander can destroy the world. Homelander would literally cap at no matter what you do planet level. It's not even a fair comparison.
Compared to when he'd likely be very timid and cautious using it on Stormfront.
Yeah, not likely. He clearly
Even
was
if
timid
Homelander
and
was
cautious.
using just as much power as he used on Stormfront, Butcher being able to equal these laser eyes with Homelander.
Yeah,
he'd be
okay.
able to
I've already seen this.
significantly
I'm
damage Stormfront
going
as
to
well.
the next part.
Nemesis, someone he said he wanted to fight to the death with, than his actual girlfriend.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Queen Maeve in Season 3. I say Season 3 specifically because during the gap
Maeve
between Season 2 and 3
is weird
Maeve
because
transferred
Maeve
years so
gets
she can
this.
fight Homelander.
Maeve just gets this buff, and it's just, it makes no sense. Like, she legitimately goes from like can't even really block Homelander's hits to like doing the most damage out of any character in the series to Homelander.
In the climax of the arc, she confronts Homelander and fights him. While Homelander is initially uninterested, she actually manages to draw blood and catch his interest, in which he immediately blasts her with his heat vision. Again, this is a mid-combat.
What anime power would you have without drawbacks? I gotta think about what powers are there. Isn't there one dude from like, there's one, I don't know if I'm getting it right, but there's one dude from this series called like Madoka Box or something. I have no clue what it is, but he apparently has like an insanely broken ability where he can like, what can he even do? I can't remember. Might be the main character. I'm not sure. I have no clue, but I've heard his ability is really broken, so I'll just take his without really knowing what it is, to be honest. Because I can't really think of anything else that I would desperately need right now. Maybe if there's a dude who can, like, create stuff out of nothing, but, like, a massive amount of it. But, you know, I don't need, like, I don't need, like, Aizen's power or some thing like that. That'd be interesting, but you know, I don't need a devil fruit either. Like, maybe I'd take like Law's devil fruit because I wouldn't lose stamina because there's no drawbacks, and I could become immortal. But I don't know. I just can't I mean, Gojo's abilities are cool as well because he can teleport and everything, and teleportation is an awesome ability, and you would just be untouchable. And you can take your powers down whenever you need them. That'd be cool, but yeah, I'll just probably take the dude from Indoka Box's abilities
Fast,
without even knowing what
angry,
they are.
and
I
serious
just heard they're amazing.
And Maeve is actually able to block his lasers, and even before she blocks it, it actually hits her chest in an almost identical spot to where it hits Stormfront, and Maeve is almost unscathed. In an interview discussing the finale of Season 3, the showrunners actually confirmed that it's possible Maeve could have won against Homelander in their final battle, which is once
Really?
again pretty insane considering Butcher was beaten by Homelander the first time they fought, even though Homelander was also distracted by Soldier Boy.
What if Shigaraki
Butcher
was in
also-
real life? We're fucked. Isn't that man like he can probably just can he just decay nukes? I mean, we don't have the technology to deal with that. Like if he just goes around decaying cities and stuff, like, what are we even gonna do?
Also
I don't know.
lost to Soldier Boy later in the finale. Keep in mind, Butcher starts to fight Soldier Boy around.
Yeah, Maeve can beat Homelander. Or could, but I don't know if that means that she would the majority of the time. But that's still kind of insane because Soldier Boy really doesn't have any real implication other than maybe nuking Homelander that he could beat him. But, you know, it's very possible that what they're referring to, because Homelander at first, you know, he was very much not trying to kill Maeve. And he's not even really trying to kill Maeve throughout the fight. He says earlier in the season that he wants to, like, keep her alive. So there's no reason why he would be trying to, like, fully kill her. So he's definitely going harder against Soldier Boy than he is against Maeve. But it's still impressive that she can actually damage him, right? Homelander versus Shigaraki. Anime-wise, I'm not sure. Probably. Shigaraki has better speed anime-wise. Homelander's like Mach 30 as a realistic max. I mean, if you want to highball him like I have before, you can get him to relativistic, but I'm pretty sure Shigaraki in the anime is still like at least like Mach 90 or something like that. And I don't know how strong anime Shigaraki is, other than he's probably like he was a threat to the city. So maybe he's city level. I think Homelander can beat anime Shigaraki potentially. Actually, Homelander wouldn't, because Shigaraki just has to tag him and that's it. Yeah. And Homelander's not that skilled, so no. Shigaraki destroys, unfortunately. Shigaraki just is too fast, and his decay ability will just kill Homelander. Like it's just kind of
the same time that Maeve
just kinda
starts
how
to
it
fight Homelander.
goes.
And in the time Soldier Boy takes out
And he has
Butcher,
regeneration, so
Starlight, and Kimiko, Maeve is still throwing hands with someone even stronger than Soldier Boy. Maeve lasting as long as she did against Homelander, someone stronger than Soldier Boy, should put her pretty definitively above Temp v Butcher,
Yep.
who lost much quicker against Soldier Boy.
That's true.
For Maeve to even
I want to
than
see this
Soulja
scene
Boy
again
go,
because
in the time Soldier Boy takes out Butcher,
so she picks up.
Starlight, and
I just want to see, like, yeah, look, Homelander isn't even like.
throwing hands with someone even.
What is Homelander even doing? Maybe it's just because he's not skilled at all, but the man is like trying to pick Maeve up. Like, this is an opportunity. This is one thing that I'm looking at and I'm just like, okay. Like, if he wanted to, if he was really trying to kill Maeve here, like, there's a lot of things he could have done in this situation. Like, kicked her, you know, punched her, something like that, like, choked her, like he did against Soldier Boy. But he was just kind of trying to restrain her throughout the fight. So,
Soldier Boy.
And I do think that if Soldier Boy was in a similar situation where Homelander is trying to restrain him, he could also do a similar amount of damage. Like, there's no reason why he couldn't. Like throughout their original fight, Soldier Boy was up against a bloodlusted Homelander who like legitimately just wanted to kill him, right? And Homelander throughout the Maeve fight is not bloodlusted at all. So it's two different situations. But that doesn't mean that Maeve is like below Billy Butcher or something. But she's definitely not above Soldier Boy. Doomsday versus My Hero Academia verse. Comics or live action? Live action Doomsday is like nuke level or something. So that My Hero verse can probably beat him because they have enough hacks to deal with him. Comics Doomsday, I haven't read enough about the comics, but if he's a Superman villain, and from what Superman at worst in the comics can, I mean, it depends on what Doomsday in the comics. I'm pretty sure, Doomsday should easily get up into the at least like multiversal ranges. He probably gets up into outer. DC's comics cosmology is kind of insane.
Takes out Butcher, Starlight, and Kimiko, Maeve is still throwing hands with someone even stronger than Soldier Boy. Maeve lasting as long as she did against Homelander, someone stronger than Soldier Boy, should put her pretty definitively above 10th v Butcher,
Yeah,
who lost much quicker against Soldier Boy.
This is just
For
undebatable.
Maeve, there's a few reasons I don't think she's number 2, which I'll explain now. The second strongest in the boys, Soldier Boy. Just from a narrative point of view, a major plot point of season 3 is that Soldier Boy
we have
is
two
necessary
statements
to defeat
saying
Homelander,
Soldier Boy is
or
nearly
at
as
least the
strong.
weapon that killed him.
And then
Even
also,
with
he
Butcher's
talked
10th
about
v-
that, like, Maeve is literally like, oh, we need Soldier Boy to kill him. So, Maeve doesn't even think she can kill Homelander. So, and she thinks Soldier Boy can. So, that's just like.
Kimiko,
But Maeve
Starlight,
was
and
surprised when she
post-train
injured
Maeve,
Homelander. So, maybe that's not the most
everyone is
reliable
after
source.
this supposed Soldier Boy Slayer. He's constantly stated to be the only
Hello,
suit that is
GT. Hola.
almost Homelander level. And in
Yeah.
terms of
There's two statements. Homelander says he's almost on his level, and Billy Butcher says Soldier Boy is almost on
feats,
Homelander's
you
level.
can actually fight Homelander on an almost even footing.
Yeah,
although,
that's
of
the
course,
thing. This is a fully bloodlusted
does-
Homelander, and we see him for like a whole minute just like throw hands back and forth. And one thing that could actually imply that Soldier Boy at his peak is even stronger than when he fought here is depending on how you view Soldier Boy's like radiation blast, because it's very possible that the radiation's blasts weaken him, right? We're just not sure. Majin Buu versus Homelander. I mean, it depends. Manga Majin Buu, from what I understand, is like multi-solar system or like galaxy level. But anime Majin Buu, I guess you can argue they're all canon. So anime Majin Buu is gonna scream the universe out of existence. So Homelander, unless once again we're doing comp Homelander, I think there's an SCP Homelander. Homelander stands no chance. Like realistically, he caps at like maybe at best mountain level. To if you want to just be kind of dumb, planet level. Versus Majin Buu, who casually at his worst is still like galaxy level. And Majin Buu probably has infinite speed because, well, it depends. His screams have infinite speed, but him himself is probably massively faster than Light Plus, where he's like trillions to even higher, like septillions times the speed of light or some ridiculous thing like that. So Homelander at best is like relativistic to light. It's not really a fair comparison.
overpower him.
But back to what I was saying about Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy could have been weakened during this fight, but we don't know. It's like, it's possible, but it's hard to tell. Because Soldier Boy did wake up, like he got knocked out, right? He was disoriented. And then we see him kind of clutching the area where he fired off his radiation from, which might imply he was feeling something there. And then Homelander to beat him. I don't know if he shows
does as well
this.
fight Butcher.
But Homelander kicks him in the area where he just fired off his radiation from. And Soldier Boy is also, like I said, disoriented before he fights Homelander. He is really confident before he fights Homelander, but Soldier Boy is really confident in general. Like, he legitimately is probably the most confident character in The Boys. Like, he'll just show up and be like, you're a fucking disappointment to Homelander right after Homelander beat his ass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think... So, apparently the producers said that Soldier Boy was weakened, but that one I can't find a source for, so I'm not sure. The major reason why I would say Soldier Boy probably was weakened is because he kind of offs Billy Butcher relatively easily. He takes one real major hit from Billy Butcher during their fight, and then kind of just throws him and knocks him out twice. But, Homelander, we've never seen him do that, but we've also never seen Homelander in the same conditions fighting Billy Butcher, so I don't know. But I would definitely guess Soldier Boy was at least disoriented, and that probably did slightly affect his performance, but I wouldn't say that he's massively above how he performed in his original fight with Homelander, I don't think that makes much sense.
And can actually beat him fairly easily, and still has enough stamina left to dominate both Kimiko and Starlight, even worse than Stormfront did. Basically, imagine you could throw both the number 4 and number 5 ranked players against Soldier Boy, and he'd probably walk away completely unharmed. The real debate is Soldier Boy versus Maeve, as many believe that Maeve performed better against Homelander than Soldier Boy did, as well as the screenwriter's statement that Maeve could possibly beat Homelander.
I mean, if we're being 100% honest here, could Soldier Boy potentially beat Homelander? Possibly could he beat Homelander? Yeah. If Soldier Boy nukes Homelander, then yeah, he can beat Homelander. He could beat him. Just could doesn't mean he would. So I don't think could necessarily means. The real debate is, like he said, Maeve performs better against Homelander, but I talked about that. Homelander was fully bloodlusted, going all out, and Soldier Boy matched him for a whole minute. Whereas Maeve, she fights Homelander. Homelander's not really going all out. And then Homelander, when he actually tries to restrain her, just grabs her and pokes her eye out. And then he just leaves her. Let's be 100% real. If Homelander was trying to kill Maeve, he would have choked her out. He's done that against Soldier Boy, something like that, but he didn't do that. I'm not going to claim that he's not trying at all, because eventually during the fight he does try a little bit, but I just don't think he's bloodlusted when he fights Maeve in comparison to him being bloodlusted against Soldier Boy.
Occurred off screen. What we can say for sure is that Soldier Boy, while never even hearing of Homelander till a day ago, is able to fight him for an extended period, land several attacks, and can even bruise him. Maeve, on the other hand, had been a teammate of Homelander for years, trained with the express purpose of fighting him. While she does manage to draw blood from Homelander, this is still a more unfocused and off-guard Homelander. He's still trying to avoid Maeve and go after Soldier Boy.
Yeah, and the nose is a weak spot.
He starts to get...
For some people, when you get punched, if I got punched in the nose barely, I might get a nosebleed. So, a nosebleed doesn't necessarily a nosebleed isn't the same as getting punched in the chest and getting knocked down. You know what I mean?
Serious, in which while Maeve can still keep up and it's very impressive,
you have people who are weaker than another guy punching him in the nose and drawing blood. It's not
overpowered, knocked back.
Yeah, Homelander, when he actually starts trying, to fully restrain her, doesn't hold back as much as popping her eye out.
Soldier Boy, on the other hand, genuinely had Homelander scared, and Homelander outright calls Soldier Boy a bigger deal than Maeve, even with Butcher already keeping Soldier Boy occupied. Secondly, the statement that Maeve can take down Homelander, emphasis on could.
Exactly.
Well, Soldier Boy could also beat Homelander.
Yep.
If anything, many characters in the series think he probably will. people conflate beating someone as a one-to-one to being stronger than them.
Yeah.
If Maeve
No.
had a 10
It's not. Maeve doesn't even have to have a 10% chance to beat Homelander. She could have a 0.001% chance, and she could still beat him. Like, could doesn't
chance to beat
could doesn't
Homelander.
mean
She could still
could
beat
doesn't mean
Homelander.
it's like, yeah.
Underdogs win uphill fights in fiction all the time. Think of Endeavor versus Hood in My Hero Academia. A Nomu he admits is stronger and faster than he is. Or Team 7 defeating Kaguya. Or Gon defeating Genthru. This fight is narratively portrayed as Maeve's last stand and is an extremely desperate fight against
Yeah.
an emotionally distressed Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander was
Compare
not
that to
at his
Soldier
full
Boy,
strength there.
consistently being depicted as a
Or not
Homelander
using his full
rival or
strength.
threat across numerous fights and interactions. I find it a lot more likely that Homelander would take that number 2 spot. That said, I do think Maeve versus Soldier Boy is a pretty decent debate and would be a really cool fight.
It would be. The problem is that we have Soldier Boy and Maeve being, like, Maeve at best being slightly above Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy at best being, like, slightly above Maeve. So, well, Soldier Boy at best could be, like, way above Maeve if you wank Soldier Boy to be above Homelander. I've seen people do that before. But, you know, the major thing for Soldier Boy is that his explosive just carries him in that fight. Like, if he hits Maeve with that thing, Maeve is just done for. Like, we know that it just, like, directly fries the compound V out of your body. So, like, all he has to do is hit Maeve, and we've seen him when he just hits Maeve with, like, a building level attack, it still knocks her out. It still gets her because he fried the compound V. So, and we've seen characters like Kimiko get fried with, like, wall level blasts. So, I don't even know if he has to charge it up ridiculously. If he can get Maeve into if he can knock Maeve down and then charge up his explosive at any point in the fight, he can win. Soldier Boy versus One for All. Or All for One. Yeah, All for One destroys. The man is like, I'm pretty sure My Hero gets up into, like, the large to, like, island to, like, large island levels to potentially country if you wank them in the manga, and All for One has, like, a plethora of hacks and abilities. It's ridiculous. Like, he has, like, upwards of, like, 50 quirks probably. Like, he has blasts that he can just stand back and hit Soldier Boy with. He has like regeneration too that Soldier Boy can't even counter. He has, like, fear hacks. So much stuff that we just don't know how Soldier Boy would deal with that stuff. Like, and to be honest, he can fly too, right? So he can just fly up, just avoid. It's just not fair for Soldier Boy. He just stands no chance because he doesn't have an attack potency advantage unless you wank his speed. He probably doesn't have any form of, like, relative speed to All for One. If you wank his speed, he's probably comparable to All for One in speed. And in that case, you have, like, two guys, one having a massive attack potency and abilities and arsenal advantage, versus one guy who has nothing. Arceus versus My Hero Academia. Yeah, Arceus destroys. And, like, whatever it is, I don't know much about it, but from what I understand, it's like the, like, god of the verse. So, and the god of the verse has, like, low complex multiversal attack potency. So it's just not. It's not a fair fight for My Hero. I don't even know how you would try to get My Hero above.
And if there's a
Arceus.
chance Maeve could take down Homelander, she objectively has.
What are more
at
characters
least-
that take a lot of L's? You can look at literally anyone in Looney Tunes who's not, like, Bugs Bunny. They just take a bunch of L's. From what I understand, Wolverine actually takes a lot of L's in the comics that he should not be taking. Actually, yes. Wolverine has lost to Spock from Star Trek. He's lost to a deer. He's gotten himself almost killed by guns before. The deer part is crazy. I don't even know how he lost to a deer. I think he's lost to more people too. It's just Wolverine is he's my favorite superhero, but he does not win when you need him to.
At least a possibility to take down Soldier Boy as well. That leaves us with the number 1 placement. It's pretty obvious it's Homelander. Aside from Gojo or Saitama, I don't know a single character called the strongest as many times as he is.
Yeah.
Even Soldier Boy, who I just ranted about, is only considered almost as strong as Homelander. Even in their first fight, Homelander would have killed Soldier Boy pretty quickly had he not been caught off guard by Butcher. And even then, he probably would have killed both of them had Huey not appeared to further distract Homelander. It's pretty clear, if Homelander wasn't the strongest, he simply wouldn't be who he is, and there'd be no story.
Alright, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Homelander is the strongest. It's not. Does Homelander take an L? He does not lose in terms of fights, besides maybe Maeve, but he does lose in terms of like his mental state and like he loses. There's a dude named Edgar, right? Edgar, whatever, and he loses to him consistently and like his positioning, I guess his reputation, he takes L's, but he doesn't take L's in terms of like actual hand-to-hand combat, you know? All right. I want to do this next. This is the strongest characters
Hey
in the
guys,
boys.
what's going on? My name is Ty Learned, and in today's video, I'm going to be power scaling.
All right, I don't care.
I mean, if we wanted to power scale her like somewhere safely, I think like C tier would be fine. It's kind of hard to get a gauge on how powerful she is. She
Victoria
doesn't think
Newman.
she can kill Homelander.
Yeah, she can't kill Homelander because she doesn't. When she like Homelander is like, just try, and she can't. So, but like that last guy said, she can make Starlight's nosebleed, so she should be above Starlight. Which character has 0 Riz?
So she doesn't think she can kill Homelander based on
There's
that.
this
I don't
dude
think she can kill
Diablo
Homelander.
from like
I
this
think
anime. He legitimately has had, or he has. Okay, well, he just fumbles. He has Riz, but he just fumbles every time. He has legitimately fumbled the bag like upwards of 12 times. It is ridiculous.
would be hard pressed to say that she could kill Translucent. Not sure how their powers would interact there. A-Train should speed bullets, and then like
I don't think it's ridiculous to say she could kill Translucent, and I'll tell you why. Translucent has like wall level durability, and she can attack the brain directly. We see Translucent can die from like his internal organs, everything. So if it's just his skin, and below his skin he's like normal human level or something, right? Because he struggles with like Billy Butcher as a regular human. So it's realistic to say that Victoria Newman would just pop Translucent's head. That guy is not that strong at all, or he's just durable on the outside. So I feel like Victoria Newman's power would just get straight through his skin and just kill him. You versus one for all, or all for one. I guess I destroy. I don't know.
like Stormfront and above would be weird. So maybe like top of C tier, possibly higher. But yeah, that's why she's in the question mark tier. It's just too hard to figure out.
Next up, we have the worst characters in terms of a power scaling aspect, that being the Deep, whose best feat is just like knocking out a couple of normal dudes with one punch.
Yeah.
The Deep is funny because like his ability is to just every soup has like baseline small building level attack potency. Like we've seen that pretty consistently throughout the entire series. Like Huey's ability is to teleport, but he also gets super strength. Kimiko's ability is to regenerate, but she doesn't have super.
Are they gonna try to say Translucent has small building level attack potency? Because I disagree with that one. I don't think that makes any sense. I'll tell you why. Billy Butcher is street level, and Translucent struggled to put Billy Butcher down. So if he was like, the problem is Billy Butcher almost takes a significant amount of damage from a street level explosion, and then we have Translucent struggling to put Billy Butcher down. So, Translucent being small building level, I don't know about that one. What pisses you off the most? In power scaling? Probably Goku or Saitama fans? I don't know. Actually, probably Saitama fans. It is ridiculous what extents they will go to be honest. It is insane.
Super strength. So I think they all sort of just get this like relative super soldier like level attack potency. But unfortunately for the Deep, his other two abilities, that being talking to fish and breathing underwater, kind of suck. So he's got nothing really. He just has that baseline.
With prep time, the Deep can bring a blue whale.
His gills, if you like punch him there, it's a pretty sensitive spot. So yeah, he kind of sucks.
Everybody legit has super strength, but then the Deep super strength isn't even super strength. It's like, it's garbage. And potentially, depending on what you guys think about Huey pushing Homelander away for like a second, he could go higher. But this feat at baseline should just be better than anything the Deep has done.
And it could just be Huey moving Homelander's body weight, you know, depending on how braced Homelander was for that. He couldn't be putting any like strength behind it really. And if
Huey also got himself like one tapped by Starlight, so
it wouldn't be too hard. So if he's just moving his body weight again, that's not really indicative.
It's not really
of attack potency.
a fair
and in
comparison.
Here we have the dude that Black Noir fought, Starlight, and Kumiko. The reason why all three of them are here is because Noir.
It's not really.
Wait. Why in the hell is Translucent in B tier? How is he? How is he? Wait. What? The man couldn't put Billy Butcher down. Billy Butcher is street level, dog. They literally said themselves, every superhero in the series has small building level attack potency. I mean, Translucent knocks down an off-guard Starlight, I guess. That's about it. But she was completely off guard, so it's not even that good of a feat. I mean, he does damage her, but he has too many anti-feats to be, like, above Black Noir. That just doesn't make any sense. Like, Translucent, right, gets hit with a car, does significant damage to him. That car is wall level. So if you're going to say every soup has small building level AP, Black Noir clearly would have small building level AP. So he would just, like, kill Translucent. Or at least overpower Translucent. He can just hold Translucent down. That's a win con, right? Have you heard of Vestremi? Yes, I have. And I don't like him. I've watched some of his videos and they are cringe as hell. I'll be 100% real.
Indicative of attack potency.
And in D tier, we have the dude that Black Noir fought, Starlight, and Kumiko. The reason why all three of them are here is because they all basically have some type of scaling to Black Noir, with Starlight and Kumiko more than likely outscaling them.
Right, so Nakib, who is I guess, really one of the only supervillains that we've seen, quote-unquote, in the entire show, has that blast, and Black Noir is kind of able to tank that, and Kimiko and Starlight would be relative to his durability, so I think they would be all right. Especially Kimiko. She
Yeah,
just
this is a
regenerates. I don't think
fine.
it's gonna one tap her by any stretch of the
This,
imagination. And
yeah,
Now,
I
in
don't really
C
care.
tier, this could actually vary depending on what you guys think of the speed scaling for the verse. If you guys think they are relative, Black Noir probably just outranges Lamplighter. But if Lamplighter can land one hit on Black Noir, it is wraps. His fire can vaporize solid steel, which is calculated to be at small building level, which should be stronger than anything Black Noir has shown to tank.
yeah, I think it should pretty easily take down Black Noir, especially if he's able to get like a.
Well, the problem with Black Noir is that he can like temporarily fight like Soldier Boy. You know, he can temporarily run away from Homelander and everything. So the man he's not that weak. Billy Butcher versus Eisen. Kid Eisen is probably enough. Like,
stream of fire
not-
on him.
not a good fight.
The Nakib blast was, I would say, kind of relative to Lamplighter's attack potency. It was just one blast, and Lamplighter can keep like a continuous flamethrower coming out.
yeah, that's fine, but oh,
Black Noir is able to, dodge out of the way or outmaneuver Lamplighter. I think he would get the upper hand.
Yeah,
Based on what we've seen,
I don't
think,
care.
like, Black
the
Noir
problem is that Translucent is above them.
and
I
Maeve
still am
would be, like,
confused
the
how they
top
did this.
two in the verse in terms of skill. We haven't seen much out of Lamplighter, but again, he was on the 7. I would assume he has extensive martial arts. Depends
Yeah,
on how.
yeah, that's fine.
Episodes of the entire show and cracked out A-Train.
Yeah, so Translucent's interesting just because his insane durability. They kind of break how his durability works within the show. Like when he gets the C4 or whatever put inside of him and he explodes, like his body explodes outward, but it should be something more akin to what happened to Black Bolt in Multiverse of Madness, where like his insides explode but his outside doesn't. So that was sort of weird, and I would say that's just like a narrative outlier. Like
So it's a narrative outlier that C4 can explode him. I mean, I'm not sure about that one. The car did damage to him.
they wanted a cool bloody explosion rather than something that was more
I
scientifically
don't
accurate
know.
based on the science that they had shown us in the show, where he's like able to completely no-sell everything. If you think to the scene in like Guardians of the Galaxy where Drax
Where I need to know where. What I need them to justify is
jumps inside the monster that's trying
where
to
it says
steal
that he
the
can like
Formulax
tank
slash
everything in the show.
Corollary
'cause,
batteries. He's trying to cut to the outside of it, but the skin, is still just as durable, right? Yeah, he wouldn't be able to pierce it from the inside or outside. It's the same kind of situation there. So that's just a weird outlier. With all that said, Translucent is just way too durable to lose to anyone below him. And then A-Train is so much faster, he could just figure out a way to get over that,
What? A-Train can figure out a way to get over his durability, but Black Noir can't.
He could
It-
fucking punch down a Translucent's throat or something.
And
Yeah,
Star-
that's true, but I feel like Black Noir, he's kind of a very well seasoned assassin. He would also find a way to kill Translucent.
and Black Noir, whether you think there's a gap between the characters, should at least be very much relative. And Translucent's skin was coated into a bullet, which also harmed Starlight. But that same bullet didn't do a thing to Translucent. And the only reason Cracked Out A-Train is here.
That was early Starlight, wasn't it? And Starlight could have gotten a lot stronger throughout the series. So I'm not sure about that.
He reacted to Starlight's light and was beating her up. But again, this is an amped A-Train, not base A-Train. He would be much lower on the list. Now, in the A tier, we have Stormfront and Enraged Ryan. The reason
I just am not sure. Like, the problem with Translucent is he can't put Billy Butcher down. So he has a street level attack potency. So no matter what he does to Black Noir or any of them, he can't injure them. Like they said, anyone with a small building level durability just isn't getting injured. And I mean, it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense because he goes from I don't know. It's just confusing.
why Enraged Ryan is here is because he turned Stormfront into an onion, and Stormfront herself
Yeah.
is able to kinda / not really, depending on your interpretation, tussle with Homelander.
Yeah, Stormfront
No,
is
it's
weird. I mean, it took.
that's not tussling with Homelander.
Defeats you get, the more consistent.
But Ryan is still up there because he actually
the
knocked
diversity
back
comes.
Soldier Boy
You
as
don't wanna
well, from
take
what I
an
remember.
Extreme outlier in throughout consistently.
So
she was
that's
getting
fine.
robbed.
All right, I
And
don't
if you
care
want to
about
talk
this.
about consistency, I felt like Stormfront was, even though Starlight and Kun in a whole have the three.
Soldier Boy is just sort of acknowledged to be 1B to Homelander's 1A. If
Yeah.
You will. He's just slightly weaker, and he's able to hold his own. He's able to stagger Homelander, various things like that. I think he has a slight skill advantage based on what we've seen, but in the end, he's just not strong enough to take on Homelander by himself. And it's
That's
sort of
fine.
like the situation we just talked about. Him and Butcher needed to team up to take Homelander down. So it would be two characters that are slightly below Homelander needing to work together to take him down. The real reason that Soldier Boy is above Maeve, because honestly, if they just went mano a mano, no.
Yeah, I also they also talk
Mostly.
about. I'm just gonna like eclipse the video. I agree with Homelander being at the S+ tier. Thing about the thing that they say is that Maeve performs better against Homelander, so she's above. Like I talked about, Homelander is like fully bloodlusted when he fights Soldier Boy. He's trying to directly kill him. If you watch the fight between him and Maeve, he does get serious at points, but he also never actually like kicks her while she's down, things like that he could have done if he actually was going like to the same degree as he was against Soldier Boy. So I just don't think. And Maeve, catches Homelander. Like Homelander is not really trying to, like, for instance, when she sticks the metal pipe in Homelander's ear, Homelander was trying to like restrain her instead of actually attack her. And then another instance where he gets punched in the nose, he's not really going all out. He's just trying to throw some punches, doesn't really expect her to do anything. And then she punches him in the nose and his nose starts bleeding. From what I remember, that's the extent of the damage he can do. And that's impressive. But for instance, if Soldier Boy, if Homelander drops his guard against Soldier Boy, right, and is just trying to restrain him, Soldier Boy can just directly punch Homelander in like his nose too. That's something Soldier Boy can do easily. Like Soldier Boy is not performing worse than Maeve in the case that Homelander isn't like trying to at his peak kill like Maeve, So it's like comparably, you've got Maeve is not going up against a fully bloodlusted serious Homelander, whereas Soldier Boy can match a fully bloodlusted serious Homelander. So in the case where, we reverse the roles, Maeve is dying, Soldier Boy is doing a similar amount of damage, if not more, to Homelander than Maeve did. That's just how I would say the rankings go. You have not Soldier Boy, Homelander at 1. He's the strongest character, stated multiple times. Then Soldier Boy, nearly as strong as Homelander, but not quite. Then Maeve, based on her performance. Then Billy Butcher. That's how I'd rank the top 4 in the verse. Yeah, that's about the ranking that I would go with. Other than that, I just posted the Bible Man video. How strong is Bible Man? You can go watch that if you want. I'm still working on the. I'm gonna do the Spider-Man versus Itachi video, and then probably like Kai versus Death. right? And in between that, there might be some filler videos. You know, I can do one on like who's the strongest in the boys, something like that. You know, there's also another filler video that I might add that I've been working on for a while that I can, so it won't like, it won't inhibit my upload schedule. It'll just be like a thing where if I need to put content out, I'll just put that filler video out. But yeah, next major video will be Spider-Man versus Itachi, then Kai versus Death. What is up, my people in Paris? We're just kind of chilling right now. Just finished ranking the boys' characters, you know, or at least watching videos ranking the boys' characters. I do have an idea of something I can do. I didn't respond to all of the comments from my Iron Man versus Homelander video, actually. So let me see. Okay, so first of all, like this just doesn't make much sense to me. Marvel has very flawed physics laws. So what they took here is probably a very lower neutron star. You really have inconsistent power scale based for what the plot needs by the writers. Okay. So what this guy is saying is that the power scaling is inconsistent because of the plot. Well, I mean, I'm going to counter that by saying Iron Man has always been able to fight like the top tiers. Like we see him when Thor shows up for the first time. He does somewhat press Thor. You know, he can make suits to fight Hulk. Throughout the series, he can actually fight some of the more powerful characters. So it's not inconsistent that he's at a high level in the verse, right? That's not inconsistent at all throughout the movies. And it is a new lower neutron star. I very much agree with this. I think there's been a like calc that put it at the size of the moon. So I didn't claim because neutron stars that are the size of our sun would be more powerful, I believe. So I didn't claim that it was like as strong as our sun. I claimed that it was dwarf star level, which is not nearly at the same level as like a full star. So I didn't like claim that it's like some solar system level, which I've seen people claim. I didn't claim that. I don't. I don't think it matters. Power scaling done through massive assumptions are what make no sense. Most of the characters who are assumed to be moving close to light speed in this video absolutely do not move at light speed. Why? Why not? There are a lot of assumptions in this video where characters are just blown way out of proportion, do insane assumptions. Admittedly, some characters are written poorly in the MCU, like Carol Danvers, so some of the assumptions are understandable, but applying the poor writing to everything else instead of taking the more realistic examples and comparing the poorly written characters, that just makes no sense and causes unnecessary arguments. I don't know what he's arguing for here. Like, I showed in this video, like, 5 or 6, like, light speed, the MCU being around light speed. And I didn't claim that he was massively faster than light. I mean, there's more MCU calcs that put them close to light speed. So I didn't assume anything. If he's saying like Quicksilver is slow, gets hit by bullets, so I'm making assumptions because of that. Quicksilver was stated in the movie, I believe, to reach like the speed of light. So it's not really debunking anything that I said there. You were taking many factors and mixing unrelated to this fight. Marvel movies have extreme inconsistent of power based on what they need the plot to do. Thanos being able to dominate Thor, who can tank an extremely lower neutron star. I already addressed that. I know it's a lower neutron star. This is actually a very, very nerf version of a yellow star. Okay, well, it's still a neutron star, so. So, I still think that it's consistent that Iron Man, with his best suits, can still fight some of the stronger characters throughout the series. That's never been shown to be inconsistent. Thor shows up, he fights him. I mean, Hulk, he can make a suit to fight him. You know, like, there's no reason why, if he can fight the heavy hitters in the past, he made Ultron. Like, there's no reason why he can't create technology to fight top tiers. Thanos was, like, impressed by him. Said he was a genius. So I don't understand why. I don't understand why people think that he's not, like, and it's fine to say he's above this, like, Thor with no hammer. That's not the end of the world. Like, as series progress, the characters get stronger. There's nothing inconsistent with that. You can't go off any. Yeah, I already addressed that. So this guy, I think what he actually wanted me to do in the end was he wanted me to, like, calc how fast Soldier Boy was. The thing is that Soldier Boy, so he's mad that I basically said that Soldier Boy reacted to light. And I said myself that I was highballing Soldier Boy. I'm not even 100% sure if that is real light, to be honest. I just wanted to prove that Iron Man beats Homelander no matter what we do, right? So realistically, Soldier Boy is more realistically at, like, Mach 30 speed-wise, not actually, like, these ridiculous levels of speed. But the problem is, Iron Man can fly from one country to another in a short period of time, and these are, like, massively hypersonic levels of speed. So, like Mach 1000 or something. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't. They're gonna say, "Oh no, Iron Man's not the speed of light." Well, he's still massively hypersonic, so it doesn't matter. A-Train is at best Mach 3. I already addressed this stuff. It's just lazy logic. Link from Zelda moves at light speed. So they're saying I have lazy logic, but yet they have not disproved it at all. I don't understand why people are in, like, massive denial. Like, theoretically, because characters get stronger throughout the series, this happens in almost every movie series, almost every show. Captain America could be stronger than Hulk early in the series. I'm not going to say he is, but if he was, as just a regular super soldier, then it wouldn't be out of the question, because the man will have to fight stronger and stronger villains. That's just how power scaling goes. Like, for instance, I know, I don't know how many people in here have watched One Piece, but that's a major problem in the One Piece community. People think that characters 3 arcs ago, like 500 episodes ago, can still compete with the top tier characters in the recent arcs. When, no matter what you say, the top tier characters in the recent arcs can absolutely destroy the old characters. Right? So, like, it's not fair to say that, like, oh, well, you know, Thor was really strong at one point and Iron Man is this strong now, but he can't be because it's inconsistent. It's not inconsistent. It's just the writers are writing Iron Man to be stronger because they're fighting stronger villains. That's just how it goes. Oh, brother, not this guy again. This guy is an L. Hello, King. Welcome to the stream. I'm just finishing addressing all the comments from my last video, because there were more comments that I didn't actually address in the live stream, so I figured I might as well do it this stream. Yeah, I got my Bible Man video out, so that's gonna be out in a little while. Or that's already out actually on my channel. Then I also have gotten my or I'm working on the Spider-Man versus Itachi video right now, so that one should be out. I don't know when that'll be out. I am rereading Naruto or reading Naruto for the first time. I watched it the first time I interacted with it. It's gonna be a little bit difficult, but I'm still gonna do it because I want to get an accurate scale. Is there? Does anyone have any videos that you want me to watch or something? I should probably ask that because I just earlier in the stream. I watched some ranking the boys. So Spider-Man slams a lot of characters. It's live action Spider-Man, I believe, because he didn't tell me if it was comics or live action. So I'm gonna assume it's live action because we're talking because he came from the Iron Man versus Homelander video. And so far, I don't know how well Spider-Man is gonna do. I'm gonna be 100% real. The man is, from what I've seen so far, Spider-Man should easily be city level, but I don't know if I can get him much higher than that. I need to remember the like Tobey Maguire in his series is city level. So if we keep going up, he scales to Tom Holland. Tom Holland could be, depending on how high you think like the characters he's fought scale, could be potentially Dwarf Star level if we rank him a lot. I just don't know. I have to. The movies aren't fresh in my mind, so I gotta watch the movies to get an accurate result of how strong Tom Holland is, and then how Tobey Maguire scales to him. Opinion on analog horror? I don't even really watch that stuff. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, don't be surprised though if like videos come out before the Iron Man versus Spider-Man versus Itachi video, because I'm still working on that video. It's just my big it's my big project. Whereas I have other projects that I've worked on that I might just like finish in the meantime, and that shouldn't delay the video that much. So it's just nice to get into the algorithm when you don't post for a long time. They kind of just ignore you. So it's nice for me to stay in the algorithm consistently. Is there something? Let me see. I think this is a video that I'm gonna watch because I didn't fully watch through it and I really like the video. All right.
Hugh Jackman's version of Wolverine is coming back, and with one of the most iconic superheroes bound to return, I figured we'd chart his prior appearances.
All right.
And
I'm going to be watching a video on how strong Hugh Jackman's Wolverine
is. As a citation, this continuity is.
But first thing I'm going to do is I have not actually eaten food, so I'm just going to like come back in a little bit. I'm going to go eat something, come back in a little bit, and then watch this. I'll just leave the stream running. So I'll be back in like 20 minutes-ish, something like that. Maybe less. But I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so I do need I do need to go into my main house to actually eat, so can't just bring it out here. Unfortunately. Boom. All right. Okay. I'll be back. We'll watch the video in about 20 minutes. You know, I want the stream to keep. Oh shoot! I need the stream to keep going. I want to keep the stream going, but I do need to eat something because I'm starting to get a little bit like, it's not my speech isn't working the way I like it to. So I will be back in 20 minutes. All right. I am finally back. Bible man greater than Goku. I see that comment on it. Yeah, it depends on how much of God's power you think a Bible man can use.
The timeline is fucked. Even the movies have so many inconsistencies to the point that I really don't think it's fair to call out any comic tie-ins or video games as non-canon just because certain details therein don't fit with a point of established lore. That
Hello,
just is the nature of
Madeline.
the Fox
I am
X-Men
back,
series
indeed.
of timelines. So with that said, any movie, video game, mobile app, website, or anything officially connected to the best there is at what he does will be considered in this analysis. If you think that's too far, then just consider this a celebration of the Fox era of the Merry Mutants in totality. In my opinion, if this is Trask and this is Trask and they're both canon, anything is up for grabs. After all, we have statements that most of the video games are acknowledged by the film's writers and creators
Okay.
and are essentially seen as valid expansions
So
of
they
the
are
films.
valid
Same
expansions,
goes
alright.
for the novelizations of the movies.
See,
the
this is
behind-the-scenes
the thing. I want to do a video on Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. But do you see how much fucking content there is? That is intimidating. It might take me like an entire 4 months to figure out and read through all of the content myself. And that's just Hugh Jackman's part. Whoever I put him up against is going to take me at least a day. And then the editing's going to take me another like 2 weeks or something. Maybe one if I grind it out. It's like, ugh.
X2 even has an entire section dedicated to the prequel tie-in comics. For as contradictory these movies are with one another, they have pretty consistently embraced their spin-offs. As far as Deadpool, both the film's director and Ryan Reynolds, who is actually a producer on those movies, and even had a writing credit, have stated them to be in a universe separate from the proper X-Men films, which
Okay.
makes sense seeing as they have a totally different Colossus and the 80s to 90s X-Men team in the late 2000s. Although, that is kind of par for the course here. Regardless, Deadpool's probably off the board for now, depending on what happens in the third one. With that said, let's begin this
I can't
breakdown.
wait for the next Deadpool movie. I'm gonna be 100% real. I am going to watch that shit the second it comes out in the theater. I think I'm barely old enough to go into the movie because it's rated R. And since I can do that, I'm gonna go ahead and
Down
watch
by
it.
looking at Wolverine's attack power and durability.
I'm the best there is at what I do.
Starting in World War II, we see that Wolverine can withstand and heal from the nuclear fire, courtesy of Oppenheimer. However, this pretty clearly wouldn't be the full force of the city-destroying bomb, seeing as Wolverine was far enough away from the epicenter of the blast, mostly being bombarded by the heat from deep below the ground, sadly equal to merely 0.002 tons of TNT.
What?
In X-Men Origins
That's tragic.
Wolverine, however, we
What
get
is
an
that?
even better baseline for the mutants'
That's
power
wall
level
level.
in the much
Oh,
maligned
no.
film. At the bare minimum, Wolverine would scale to Weapon 11's laser vision, which, based on its ability to carve craters into a smokestack, creating the 3 Mile Island disaster in this universe, and based on calculations of said feat, the likes of Wolverine and Sabretooth would be able to endure attacks roughly equal to 380 million joules, or enough force to destroy a small building. However, it has been stated that mutants can develop greater power through training,
Okay.
which would follow as years after being part of the X-Men, Wolverine was called the strongest member of the team, second only to Charles Xavier. I think this comparison to the Professor proves
what was
the
that
state
saying?
only to
I'll just skip to like. We'll just start. Who'd been their guiding light as they'd explored this strange new world of powers? They also had to deal with the inescapable fact, inescapable fact that one of their own, perhaps the most powerful of them, as well as the member of the staff who is second only to Xavier. Okay.
To Charles Xavier. I think this comparison
That
to the
is
professor
a
proves
statement
that
that
the
puts
statement
him
isn't only
at the
referring
second
to
strongest.
physical strength, as obviously that's not Xavier's strongest suit. It's talking about their powers in totality. So this should simply place Wolverine's durability and attack power at least roughly equal to the other powerhouses currently on the team, such as Storm, who has been stated and shown to generate the likes of tornadoes and hurricanes, with the average energy generated by these phenomena equaling half of to 200 times the amount of electricity produced across the planet, which, funnily enough, when converted, yield forces capable of destroying as much as a town. This is consistent
Really?
per the fact that Wolverine's rival, Sabretooth, was stated to have endured the full force of Aurora Monroe's power in the form of her lightning attacks. And while normal lightning doesn't pack much destructive force by comparison, we've seen mutant powers amplify energy before, such as Pyro taking a flame from a standard lighter and turning it into a blast strong enough to blow up cop cars. Storm is very likely doing the same, which could honestly make her tornadoes and the like even stronger than their IRL counterparts. Either way, Sabretooth's durability is as well backed up via the villain's display of withstanding Cyclops' optic blast, stated to be capable of destroying nearly anything, with Creed surviving this attack as seen in the events of the X2 prequel comic. Wolverine himself was able to take these same attacks channeled through Weapon 11 during X-Men Origins Wolverine. Storm obviously possesses the ability to move and dissipate violent thunderstorms and very quickly, so her powers may be able to generate much more than this. Unfortunately, we don't ever get a great sense of how large the clouds she's manipulated are or to what range they cover, so it's probably safest to leave it at this level. While Storm performs far greater feats later in the original timeline and would be more powerful than Logan by then, the statements of Wolverine being stronger are from around the X1 to X3 era, so it should be valid. Storm simply eclipsed his level of power later on. Of course, like most fictional characters, Wolverine has some poor showings, such as getting KO'd by a handgun round to the dome. However, we've seen Wolverine withstand that and far worse, far more consistently. Plus, as they say, it's the punch you don't see coming.
Yeah, wasn't there a
that
point
knocks
in
you
one of the
out.
movies
This
where he just
combined with
got
the fact
like
that this version of
where he was like running away and just getting shot
Wolverine
with
has
bullets
been
over
known
and
to
over again and
not
just
give a
kept
fuck
going?
and lean on his healing factor to keep him alive, even just abusing it and not even taking advantage of his martial arts skill, as noted by his opponents from time to time. Sort of showing that Logan probably wouldn't feel threatened or have his guard up when faced with something as inconsequential to him as a Glock. He knows it's not capable of killing him, so he's not going to have his guard up. Regardless, he's pretty clearly stronger than bullets most of the time. However, the two assets facilitating Logan's survival the most by far are his healing factor and adamantium bones. Great falls, explosions, broken bones back when that could happen to him, gunshots, energy blasts, even adamantium bullets to the brain are all within Wolverine's ability to pretty much regenerate from entirely. And this all happens at an extremely fast rate as well. He often heals from damage as quickly as it comes.
Yeah.
This power grants him immunity to poisons, drugs,
I mean, his regeneration factor is obviously like the thing that's carrying him through this.
Even in a
like if he goes up against anyone, the regeneration
Logan,
factor
he was
just
still
carries
able
him.
to endure the psychic feedback from the aging Charles Xavier. These outbursts being heavily implied to have taken the lives of the X-Men, yet Wolverine still stood thanks to his healing factor, a power which may operate at a truly fundamental level. Jean Grey, after losing control of her Phoenix persona, was shown atomizing much of the people and places around her, the most powerful being in the universe by far, affecting matter on a quantum and multi-dimensional level, actually beyond atoms, power bordering on transcending all realities in the multiverse.
Whoa!
And yet, Wolverine healed from this, and his adamantium skeleton withstood and endured that level of destruction, attacking one's very existence.
So his adamantium skeleton is like
destroying matter at the
ridiculous.
smallest, most intrinsic levels possible, threatening a multitude of dimensions, was not enough to destroy the super metal from the stars. And again, Logan could heal from this. It has been stated that these movies take place in a multiverse, one now blatantly connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universes, meaning that based on the statements of the Phoenix's powers, possibly up to Infinity Ultron level beings would not be capable of damaging the Fox Universe's adamantium. However, this doesn't inherently mean that Wolverine has
this doesn't mean that he has
levels of
multiversal
durability or
attack
cutting power
potency.
in this case. Only his bones can take that much damage. Attacks to his organs, knockout strikes, and so on can all take place in a fight without a bone ever breaking, like World War Hulk bouncing around Logan's brain inside of his skull. While he never stays down, we can't ignore all the times Logan's been put to sleep via blunt force, blood loss, or whatever this is. Also, while the amount of force an object can output wouldn't necessarily be able to withstand that amount of force, just because something can withstand a certain level of energy doesn't mean it can output as much. Logan would have to have shown
that's
feats
fine.
of swinging his arms, generating enough force to harm multiversal beings. Otherwise, he just simply has greater durability than he has attack power. And while the level of Jean's
And that
telepathic
definitely makes sense
manipulation
throughout the
is
series.
godly, her actual body hasn't displayed durability on such a scale. Plus, by the time Logan was in stabbing range, Jean had
Yeah, his skeleton is just him.
kind of taken
His fucking skeleton can like he said, potentially just like he fucking dies and his like the Infinity Gauntlet snaps and his skeleton is just still fucking there. Like, can he fucking survive the Infinity Gauntlet? Wait a minute. I think if Thanos snapped him away, his skeleton would remain, and I don't know if that'd kill him. I don't think we've seen him regenerate from just his skeleton before, but I know there are Wolverine versions who can just regenerate from their skeleton. So he
back
might
over
survive a
and
snap
was
from
begging
Thanos.
for it. Even still, combined with his healing factor and pretty objectively unbreakable bones, Wolverine won't stay down for long. James Logan Howlett's combat speed and reactions would land somewhere within the range of 10 to 100% the speed of light.
Really?
Seeing as in the X-Men movie novelizations, written by the famous comic legend Chris Claremont, also endorsed by one of X2's writers.
I think one of the really interesting things is if anybody
Only thing about this one is he's going to have to figure out a way to justify why Wolverine gets consistently tagged by bullets. I think you can do it, it's just I want to see how he does it.
Which, amazingly enough, was written by Chris Claremont, who, of course, any X fan knows is a huge influence on the series.
State his optic blast to be moving at the speed of light.
Oh,
just
well,
like
there
that.
it is.
The black leather and inaccurate character origins should prove to anyone that this is not the comic universe. While being concussive blasts in 616, material canon to the movies describe and present these attacks as destructive beams moving at the speed of light, with Logan, Sabretooth, Magneto, even Toad managing to dodge them across both timelines.
Really?
This is backed up by God statements affirming Sentinels as firing laser beams, with Logan and various other characters dodging them left and right. In fact, the X3 novel goes as far to imply that Wolverine
I mean, maybe then guns just are light speed in the universe.
is the
That's a little bit weird to think about, because then guns are like way too powerful. I think humans moving at light speed is like mountain level or something, like force wise. So that bullet would be easily up into like the probably town level ranges of like force. And then that, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to justify bullets moving at light speed, but you know what I mean? Like if characters are getting tagged by these bullets and they can also react to light speed, maybe the bullets in the universe are just light speed. I mean, that's not impossible. Maybe they just have way better technology than us. But that'd be a little bit weird, though.
On the team at that time.
You've had training.
And like I mentioned, Wolverine has incredible fighting prowess at his disposal. He himself has fought and experienced some of the harshest wars and skirmishes in modern history, until being known as the best fighter on the planet by the 1970s. He stated
Okay, he didn't
more
address
skilled
the
than
bullet
Mystique,
thing.
a martial arts master.
I wouldn't either, because I don't I just think that means the bullets probably move faster than bullets in real life. There's a lot of ways you can like argue for the bullets just being better than our bullets, whatever. Um, but I would probably address that if it was me, because I know what would happen. I would have a million people in my comment section saying Wolverine can't react to bullets. Therefore, your scale is completely irrelevant. I swear that
He fought
that would
two
definitely happen.
master-level samurais, killed numerous elite commandos, just a perfect fighting machine, and is a relative-level combatant as Sabretooth, who could anticipate where a military-trained mutant would teleport. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a toss-up on if he'll display these techniques. He's more likely going to give into his instincts and berserker rage most of the time, which has gotten him pretty
Wolverine, I think in the comics, Wolverine beats like Captain America in like a skill. In like a martial arts fight. What the like
far to
this
be
man Wolverine is just
via his claws, he can shield himself
I don't
from and
understand him. Like I said in the comics, he's also gotten knocked out by a deer or something, so
deflect
it doesn't make any
projectiles
sense.
like rockets and light beams, and his superhuman senses are as well massive advantages, being able to see through Mystique's transformations, which is pretty crazy as nearly every other form of detection in the series has failed to do so. Even with powers so robust that she can copy mutant abilities to some extent, becoming someone else down to their atoms,
Really?
Logan can still sniff her out.
Didn't know that
On
was
top
how it
of
worked.
that, he can see invisible enemies.
How does that work?
Has legendary tracking
Now I'm not gonna
abilities,
question
senses greater than any
superhero
predator.
movies' logic.
He can hear better than any normal man, detect people through walls, and can tell when someone's lying. I was also going to point out here about how, after Days of Future Past, Logan would have 2 entire extended lifetimes worth of battles under his belt, but that's not really the case. He wakes up in a body of essentially a variant of his. He was just another guy from 1973 until then, and after that, he just gets possessed by Logan from the original timeline until he dies. Which, yes, sadly, Logan is confirmed by the director, and even Hugh Jackman, to be set after Days of Future Past on the timeline.
Oh,
And I
really?
mentioned before in previous interviews about how it's not necessarily beholden to all of the continuity of the previous X-Men films.
It actually is. When we were making it, we didn't want that.
Right.
But it became a bit clear as we went on. But
Did-
it sort of appears after Days of
Right.
Future
So-
Past.
Sad days for the X-Men. But anyway, Charles is just
Well, that's
like,
fine
"What's
by
up,
me.
bro?"
He did his
Even
time.
though the Logan that he's actually known for 20 years just got overwritten by the one he met like for 2 days. Man, this franchise is so messed up. But that's kind of its charm.
He
you know?
is broken in the
Anyway, that's
movies.
my obligatory X-Men movie plot hole rant.
Very broken,
however,
unfortunately.
is not utterly unkillable, despite what I've described. Like I said, blunt force can
Oh,
down the
okay. I thought you were talking about like broken mentally. I mean, both. He's both broken strength wise, and he's broken in terms of his mental as well. Throughout most, I mean, at points he's not, but throughout most of it, he kind of is. Yeah, these feats are kind of crazy. Like, you know, normally you'd get people like I think Versus Battle Wiki has him at small building level and Mach 6 speeds. But don't this see that's why you don't use Versus Battle Wiki to scale unless it's their calcs, or unless you're trying to get like an idea of where the verse might scale. You know, because they also have like Spider-Man at large building level. I don't
Even for a
understand.
time, with electricity being an easy way to achieve this. His more or less creator, Stryker, also theorized that turning Logan to ash might put him down for good. Probably unlikely considering how the Phoenix deals with him, but still.
Yeah,
there are
that one
means to
seems a little bit
suppress his healing
ridiculous.
factor too, which could facilitate his death. Superheated adamantium could theoretically decapitate him, and due to inconsistencies or retcons, or possibly X-24 being underdeveloped as he is called a infant by his creator, adamantium bullets could as well damage his brain past the point of repair, possibly. Plus, eventually the alien metal coating his bones would poison the hero beyond what his healing factor could manage.
Okay. Yeah,
So, when everything is said and done, Wolverine packs town levels of force behind his attacks.
see that's still
speeds
insane.
rivaling the speed of light, master level martial arts abilities, indestructible bones, one of the straight up best healing factors ever put to film, and an array of superhuman senses, all proving that he is indeed the best there is at what he does. With that said, let me know down in the comments if you think he might get an actual power boost in Deadpool 3.
That'd be
or maybe
sick.
even Secret Wars, so let me know what you guys think. What are your predictions for his next appearance? Also, let me know what kind of future
That would be sick. Imagine he gets a power buff up from that. I mean, here's the thing. When you look at the X-Men movies, you get you don't usually, the only characters from the X-Men movies that I would think were like at that level that Wolverine is at is like Magneto. The man can like lift up is it the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever, Apocalypse, guys like that. Outside of that, you don't have a ridiculous amount of like visual feats, but somehow he still ends up at that level. That's why it's important to look at the lore of everything and make sure there's not some stupid feat that makes no sense in the series, because it can happen. Oh wait, this guy just claimed he's healing from the snap of Thanos. Yeah. Oh shit. He's getting in a fucking debate with a motherfucker who I know. Look at this. This is the dude who came into my comment section claiming Homelander is planetary. Oh, Infinity Stones scale massively above the Phoenix Force. Oh shit, we're getting into debate. Phoenix Force scales massively above the Infinity Stones. The Phoenix Force scales to Dormammu, who got effortlessly finessed by one Infinity Stone. Use all 6 of them and it's not even close. Wolverine isn't surviving. Dormammu only countered by the Time Stone's hacks. His raw power greater than the stone's power. Therefore, Wolverine would survive. Okay, well. Oh! Looks like Mad Slayer lost his debate. Oh my gosh. I don't understand how Homelander is planetary. I'm still confused on that one. But it's fine, I don't care. Damn, it's stupid even in others' comment sections. Yeah. I don't, like, the guy just explained how the multiverse is connected to the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, and Jean Grey was going to collapse that entire multiverse. So obviously, Wolverine surviving that would be comparable to the Stones. Snap. I mean, that's not really... I don't know why that's ridiculous, but... Oh, well. He also didn't cite the... If he's watching this, Mad Slayer, I need you to cite where it stated Homelander is a planet buster. Because the only place that I've seen that claim from is a channel called Jobbers and Goons. Talked about it. And he doesn't even believe that it's an actual planet busting feat. He said himself, you have to take the statement hyper literal to actually believe that it's a planet busting feat or a surface wiping feat. And if he's going to say that, then it's pretty clear that, it's probably not an actual, planetary feat, to be honest. Oh, this is a fire video, to be honest.
This video is
I really like, this is Crisis. I really love his channel. He has some of the best power scaling content, to be honest. I think he's actually a really good like replacement for like honestly, yeah, he's a really good replacement for like Seth the Programmer, things
sponsored
like that,
by Squarespace.
I'd probably pick him if I was going to replace. But I mean, obviously, he's not scaling Naruto and everything, but he's scaling enough verses that he should. He honestly is underrated for how good of a scaler he is. You know, 47K should be over 100K for sure.
Squarespace is the quintessential platform for creating your image. To begin the story,
basically the idea is, you know, the Fantastic Four, Tobey Maguire, the X-Men. I think Hulk is there too. Like all of these versus Thanos and his army. That's a really good idea.
Silver Surfer, with a failed invasion from Galactus, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four took it upon himself to install sensors around the Earth to detect threats from outer space. Now, one day he does find that there is a giant alien craft stationed outside of the solar system moving towards the planet Earth. He then communicates with his colleague, Professor Charles Xavier, who we see in Dark Phoenix that Professor X in the revised timeline will go out of his way to sort of rub shoulders with the best and brightest of humanity.
Yeah.
However, up until now, he's never wanted humans or even superpowered humans to risk their lives to defend mutant kind. And with that knowledge, Xavier uses his telepathy to sense if there's any intelligent life associated with that craft.
This is a fire storyline.
Thanos, who, with his great power and mental resistance, as seen in Avengers Infinity War, Thanos wants to eradicate half of all life on the planet, and to do so he wants to use the Phoenix Force. He's heard of the Phoenix Force through its tales of planetary destruction, again as seen in Dark Phoenix, and he wants to harness that power for himself. So now the X-Men are on high alert. Xavier, due to the strength of Thanos' mind, has his powers kind of nullified from that point
Bible
forward.
Man video
With that,
was
Fantastic
interesting.
Four and the X-Men,
It was hard. I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of hard to watch through the show because show is not amazing. And I also stopped before. There's two versions of Bible Man. It's like we're talking about like two versions of Batman. You know, there's more than two versions of live action Batman, but there's two versions of Bible Man. I did not watch the second Bible Man version because I watched Bible Man as like a kid at points, right? So I'm not gonna watch the Bible Man who I didn't watch as a kid. I'm sorry. I just like my nostalgia, barely the nostalgia that I had. I didn't have a lot, but because I only watched like a few episodes. The small amount of nostalgia I had basically carried me through the Bible Man show. So if I was gonna watch a Bible Man that I had zero nostalgia for, that'd be it. I couldn't do it. Hello, cinema. Welcome to the live stream. I'm just watching a video by this guy named Crisis, a great scaler. You can go subscribe to his channel. He's doing the 2000s Avengers versus Thanos. So far the storyline is like, you know, Xavier like has sensed Thanos coming to get the Phoenix Force, and Thanos is going to use the Phoenix Force to eradicate half of the population. And so in this situation, you know, we have like the original Fantastic Four from the 2000s, like I think Hulk from the 2000s, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and like the X-Men versus Thanos. That's the idea of this video.
As well as attempting to gather all of the greatest heroes from across the planet, including the likes of Blade, the Vampire Hunter, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, Spider-Man, New York's Protector, the Incredible Hulk, Elektra, Ghost Rider, and so on. The smartest among the heroes being Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, formulate a plan, that being using Xavier's connection with Thanos to draw the Mad Titan onto their preferred battlefield.
I actually love Bible Man as a so bad it's good series. Yeah. But I can understand why people can't survive the cringe. Yeah, that's the mindset you have to have when watching Bible Man. It's so garbage that it's hilarious. And that's why it's good. You know? Well, I mean, it's not good, but it's I don't know the word to use for it. I don't know the word, to be honest, but I'm gonna be real. I can only do like the original Bible Man series. I can't survive the animated series or the newer Bible Man. Like the Miles Peterson Bible Man, I can go through that entire thing. And I could probably watch it again and be okay. But anything past Miles Peterson, that's where I just like, yeah, no, I'm good.
That being the Romanian stronghold seen in Ghost Rider 2, where Johnny Blaze once defeated the Devil. Despite the fact that Thanos is looking for Jean Grey and would hope
ironic
to
would be a good
power
word, yeah.
from her, they do bring her along in the Blackbird, with Susan Storm using her powers to cloak the craft. Jean, if she were to use her still volatile powers, that being the Phoenix, despite the fact that Thanos could very well get her power is also the best chance of beating these enemies if the heroes are to lose. So with that said, Thanos sends his cannon fodder out first, that being the Outriders. But first, let me take a minute to talk to you about Squarespace.
They're hitting me with another. He's sponsoring it again. Throwing his sponsoring again.
Power scaling of these pre-MCU Marvel heroes. I have the Chadwick here.
Yo guys, what's up?
Everybody kind of scales to each other. Nobody's like blitzing one another. The MCU, based on some new calculations, they would all land in the sort of sub-relativistic category. Characters like the X-Men, there are multiple statements from the X-Men novels.
I
and
mean,
even in
you
Dark
can get them a
Phoenix, we see that
little bit
Cyclops'
faster than
beam
that.
Functions like a laser,
You
or like
can
a
get
beam
them a
of
little
light
bit
and is
faster
stated
than
to do such. Now, I know in the
sub-relativistic.
comics, his eyes are a portal.
I have some calculations that would put them closer to like actual like relativistic plus speeds. I don't think sub-relativistic. That's like the lower end for them.
So they all kind of roughly scale in that like relative to light speed category, at least most of the X-Men. So Chad, we have the Outriders here. We know from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they're pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Captain America, Winter Soldier with guns.
I mean, yeah,
all
guns
these
can
people,
like
random
foderize them.
Wakandans
So
were able to deal with them. So who do you think
this isn't
is
like random
adequately
mutants
equipped
can
to
probably
these
deal with them.
Outriders,
To be
and who do you
honest.
think maybe has the biggest chance of being taken out of the fight this early on?
Quicksilver, who is probably better equipped to deal with the Outriders than the Black Order, just because how fast he moves, he'd be better suited to getting rid of the cannon fire off the field faster than focusing on the stronger adversaries.
Yeah, Quicksilver can
Yeah,
run
Quicksilver just starts running through them and just starts like knocking them to the ground and like killing them.
Speed similar to lightning, if not far faster. Quicksilver's also physically pretty powerful. He was able to
Wait. All right. There is a little bit of inconsistency here because I'm not sure if there's anything backing up. But yeah, Quicksilver had Wolverine like standing still. You know what I mean? Whether it was that Wolverine was watching him actually move at like the speed close to like lightning speed, Yeah, the thing is that like we see in the one scene, I don't know if he has it in here. Yeah, this scene here. We see Wolverine is like his claws are out. Like he's not able to move while Quicksilver is moving here, and he just claimed Wolverine is close to the speed of light. So Quicksilver should be faster. but I don't know if there's like a statement that says Wolverine was like watching Quicksilver and he was like, oh, he's got it, or what? Because in the case that Wolverine is basically standing still compared to Quicksilver's speed, I would think he'd be a little bit faster than that.
Kind of only scale to King faster than even I think anybody in Infinity War, at least. For the most part, they are pretty adequately dealt with, like I said, by Wakandan soldiers.
Yeah.
Even characters like Daredevil and Elektra
Not gonna be
kind
difficult.
of be the weakest of these guys. They kind of only scale to Kingpin from the Daredevil movie, who was, his best feat is like snapping people's necks. So just barely above what like an average human can withstand or output. Moving on, we have now the Black Order. We have Corvus.
I mean,
Glaive,
maybe they will get
who's kind of the
destroyed
like,
then.
sneaky assassin type guy. Why don't you talk about Corvus Glaive and maybe some of the people who would be cool to see him fight?
Wolverine, a pretty fun matchup to see, just because his bones are intertwined with obviously the strongest metal in his universe, and Corvus Glaive, that metal can not only stab through Vision's body, which is made of vibranium. Wolverine is basically getting cut up by Corvus, and Corvus kind of goes for like a killing blow, but then realizes that his glaive can't bypass the adamantium. In Last Stand, we see that the adamantium can resist Jean's like Dark Phoenix power, and in the novel, it states like render things just non-existent, and she was struggling to like destroy the adamantium. We decided on the idea that Cyclops, very similar to how Wolverine beats Baraka-Pool from X-Men Origins, Cyclops kind of like heats up the adamantium, and we see that heated adamantium is better than standard adamantium shown in the Wolverine, but Silver Samurai has like the heated adamantium blade, and he can just easily cut through Wolverine's claws. Not only is Wolverine just at that point able to cut through the glaive,
Yeah, I mean, the
but
problem
ultimately just
is that, like, we, 50% of the speed of light versus like 10%, like this guy, he got destroyed by Captain America with like the vibranium spear or whatever, or, Vision here. So, with adamantium, we just watched a video. Adamantium can withstand Thanos' snap. So I fully agree with this outcome.
With
Like,
that said, moving
there's
on
no
to
reason why
Proxima, because
Wolverine would
able to
lose.
fight
Even if he gets
Black
hit, he
Widow
can just
and
regenerate
Okoye
too.
at the same time. Elektra kind of stands out as that, highly skilled female kind of assassin. Even just per the fact that Proxima can kind of deal with two highly skilled fighters at the same time, Elektra isn't going to fare too well here.
Yeah, no.
Storm could kind of pull a Scarlet Witch, and I think would probably come in and sweep the dub from under Proxima.
Ebony Maw is probably the best example of a glass cannon, in the sense that, like, we see that with his telekinesis, he can damage Iron Man, contend against Doctor Strange. When he launches those rocks at Doctor Strange and Wong, they redirect him with the portals, and one of them kind of like tags Moore's head and it damages him. A combination of Blade and Daredevil would be a fun matchup to see. Daredevil has his like nutty extrasensory capabilities. Blade has like achieved this mode similar to like the flow state. I feel like we could see Daredevil just bobbing and weaving on Moore to get close enough, and Blade just being so well centered can like synchronize his movements.
What the
alongside
fuck?
Daredevil. Someone like Moore, like if you see like Infinity War, we need to annoy.
You're
him
racist
50
as hell?
times, you could probably have
All right,
one
brother.
of the stronger characters come in and ultimately beat him.
All right.
Spider-Man could come in and like knock him out, because Moore should ultimately beat Blade and Daredevil. I think if he gets serious.
You have like Proxima and Corvus who are fighting super soldiers, and then you have Cole Obsidian kind of ragdolling peak Iron Man at the time, who in an earlier armor was able to take pretty much like a mountain's worth of rock blowing up on top of him. As the resident Toby Spider-Man expert, we see in Infinity War that Tom Holland Spider-Man is able to deal with Cole. He's able to block strikes from Cole that were designed to put Iron Man down. While in this scenario it is Toby before No Way Home, it's more or less been the case the entire time that Toby is in that same level of power. There's
Yeah, that
no
makes
reason
sense.
for Tom Holland at that point to be fighting characters like Doc Ock or Green Goblin in a less motivated way than he was fighting Cull Obsidian in Infinity War. In fact, he's
Yeah,
kinda casual
yeah, that
when
makes
fighting
sense.
Cull
And it's
Obsidian
also
compared to Doc Ock.
yeah,
or
Doc Ock. He also
Green
had an
Goblin,
upgraded
who he's
suit,
pretty
right?
serious against in both encounters. And of course, these are characters who Tobey Maguire was able to defeat.
So
he would actually put up a better one against Cole than Tom Holland did.
In the first movie,
yeah, that
when
makes
Reed
sense.
Richards is like testing out all their powers.
Oh, this
Johnny
the Fantastic
Storm, he
Four
started,
are
like,
just
getting
broken
so
as
hot
hell.
that Reed says
Wasn't this guy
you're
got so
basically
hot he was gonna just
approaching
like
supernova, that's gonna
melt
destroy
the entire
planet's
atmosphere. Yeah.
When he uses the supernova at the end on Doctor Doom, Sue Storm's able to like contain it with her force fields. Now Doctor Doom does more or less basically tank the supernova. Thing who can like physically contend with Doctor Doom for a while, and then Reed kind of restrains Ben. But yeah, they are like ridiculously overpowered and they're massively stronger than what tier Cull Obsidian's in.
Thanos, of course, he doesn't have any stones. He doesn't have the Space Stone, Reality Stone, Power Stone, etc. It's just base Thanos.
Yeah,
he
base
himself
Thanos
still
isn't-
scales off the same feats that Cull Obsidian scales off to. Thor is able to one-shot Iron Man, and Thanos is able to pretty much dominate that same Thor. It's really not too good for Thanos. I mean, you have everything that Chad mentioned
Yeah.
about Fantastic Four.
I mean,
Thanos is in the small country territory. whereas the Fantastic Four
you can
are
get him higher.
threats to the entire human race, the whole planet, every animal, the ecosystem.
Like, you can get him higher.
And from there, it only kind of gets worse with characters
Probably.
like the Hulk.
Because he
He's
can.
called
Oh,
the-
but he
the
beat
most
Thor with the
powerful
Power
creature
Stone,
to
so I
ever
don't know
walk
if
the
you
Earth.
can't.
So he
Yeah,
should
and
be in
then
the
the
multi-country
Thor,
version
the
of that.
Unawakened, or the
And
Thor Fat
there's just
Thor is way
more
weaker
statements
than
like that, though. He's
Ragnarok
impossibly
Thor.
strong.
So
There's no limits to his power
I don't
or
know.
destructive capabilities. So ultimately, using those statements, you should be able to, at least in the context of this little hypothetical, it should be fine to like place him in the ballpark of the Fantastic Four.
If he even was able to get some measure of Jean Grey's power, there are still ways for the heroes to win in the form of Ghost Rider's penance stare. It doesn't really matter how durable you are, how strong you are.
Yeah, Ghost
If
Rider is
there
just-
is evil in your heart, which certainly
Yeah.
Thanos, somebody who is going around.
If
slaughtering
Ghost Rider
millions
just
of
stares
people
at
throughout
Thanos,
the
it's over,
universe,
right?
He definitely fit
So,
the parameters
that's
of
like-
at least Ghost Rider's idea of evil. It would pretty much banish his soul to hell.
That's a ridiculous
at that
win
point
con.
and leave him kind of as a husk, as we see in the Ghost Rider movies. He could also literally send you to hell with his chain, as seen in Ghost Rider 2. And then, of course, that's notwithstanding the fact that Jean Grey could just genuinely try to scrap with Thanos.
When it comes to original timeline, Jean, in terms of sheer power,
Because the
she
original,
needs to be planetary.
I mean, I think the conclusion
In the
should be
future-
pretty clear here. We just watched a video, his other video, and it's pretty blatant that Jean can like. I mean, even at her lowest, she was still gonna like destroy the planet and everything. So, but at her best, you know, she's like destroying the multiverse. So, Thanos is just
Of her own powers,
not
she's
surviving.
bringing whole worlds to
Jean.
an end. She also sees entire
attacks
dimensions end
with the
too.
Phoenix Force and
There is
everything.
another
It's just
statement later
not
on that
happening.
says she could transcend all rules and realities with her powers, though it was also stated that the entity was the spark that brought life to the universe. Thanos should be well within the small country tier. This is because he beat Hulk and awakened Thor at the beginning of Infinity War. Thor, when he fought Hela, was able to one-shot a portion of the Bifrost Bridge, whereas pre-awakened Thor took 10 strikes to destroy just one portion during the events of Thor 1. So if we take this 10 times multiplier and apply it to Thor's best feat before Ragnarok, which is the feat of him destroying Sokovia, then it would take him from large island to well within small country.
Thanos is pretty much lucky that he fought. the
Wait.
actual MCU.
Didn't Thor like shake Jotunheim at one point? Am I tripping? Because that's a country level feat. So by their own scale, he's not small country. He's like 10 times whatever the country level feat is. You could also use like the Thor taking the full force of that neutron star. There's like planetary calcs. There's dwarf star level calcs. So you could get Thanos up into the planet to like small star level, but that shouldn't matter because, like we talked about, Jean Grey just destroys him with the Phoenix Force.
Where he was at least able to get one W off before getting put down.
Whereas here, he doesn't really make it that much farther past Earth's atmosphere, to be honest. So, thanks, Chad, for coming along.
Always glad to be on and spit some scaling, especially when it's characters that I have put.
All right. Well, that's that video. I don't agree with the MCU characters being small country level. I think they're all at worst, like in that country level range. So they underestimated them a little bit. And at best, they can get up into the dwarf star level range. So, yeah, I disagree with Thanos being like that much weaker. They underestimated Thanos, but I don't think it will change the outcome. So I still agree with the outcome. You know. I've actually seen people try to claim that the new Flash movie is good. And it confuses me because I haven't watched it, but I had a friend watch it who said it was absolutely horrible. And from everything I've seen from it, it is absolutely disgusting. Like the CGI is ass. Everything is literally ass about the new Flash movie. But yet for some reason, we have people claiming that it's actually a good movie. I don't even know how people claim that it's a good movie, but they do. And it's kind of scary that we have people with this bad of taste in like this world, to be honest. How are you going to watch all the superhero movies and think that that movie in particular, the new Flash movie, is like actually good? I don't understand. But some things that you just don't understand in life. All right. Does anyone have any like videos they want me to watch or power scaling questions? Because I can answer those. If nobody has any like questions for me, then I'll probably just wrap up the stream here. But if there's a video you guys want me to watch or something, I'll watch it. It's fine. I'm gonna give it like a minute, and then if no one has any questions or anything, I'll just wrap up the stream. Or I'll just end the stream directly. Any questions before I go? All right. I should have given it enough time. If anyone has any questions after the stream, I guess I'll answer them next stream, or I can answer them in the chat. But I'm gonna go. The stream's been going for a long time. I have some stuff to do today. I want to work on some of the videos, everything. So I will see you guys in the next video or the next live stream, whenever that happens.